Hi, Dan. My name is Dusty, and you might remember my face. I've sent you several video responses in the past over several years. I used to go by Ash, though. I'm transgender, and I've been transitioning over the past couple of years. And, well, I have one of the jobs that still exists during this crisis. So I thought it might be interesting for us to chat about it. I dug out my old poke walker, and I'm about to take my dog for a walk. So I thought I'd take you with me and fill you all in about what's going on while letting you guys see my weird gremlin of a dog. Let's go. This is Penny. She's a gremlin. That's my neighbor. They're dealing with this crisis by setting up a shooting range in their backyard. I'm not sure if that's allowed. Penny, why do you want to walk in the street? This is not safe. This way. This way. Please don't jump in the puddle. Good girl. So, I live in Alabama, and the major city that I live near, though outside the main city limits, is Birmingham, which is the first city in Alabama to go on straight lockdown. Several of my friends work in Birmingham, and several of them are concerned that when they go into work next time, they're not going to be allowed to leave. I'm pretty sure that's not what lockdown means, but I understand why that would give someone anxiety. I, however, work outside Birmingham's city limits, and I know for a fact that my job is considered essential. So my job is not going to be affected by this, at the very least. The job that I have is a little bit unusual, if I'm honest. What I actually do is I work at what's called a group home, which is a step between assisted living and living in a hospital. And what we do in a group home is most of our residents have severe mental illness, and I make sure they take their medicine, I cook their meals, and I help them do their laundry. And the goal is to eventually get to the point where they can live on their own. And hopefully Penny will be done peeing soon, so we can keep walking, and you don't have to keep staring at this tree. Well, my job is considered essential. These people in the group home live there, and they're gonna live there regardless of whether or not this crisis happens. But that doesn't mean my job has been unaffected either. My job is very different now. It used to be that these people's families came to visit them all the time. But now, no one is allowed in or out. These people aren't allowed to go on outings. These people aren't allowed to see their family. These people aren't allowed to buy their own things or spend their own money. We buy the food for them. They get fed, but most of them buy their own snacks, they buy their own soda, and they're not allowed to have soda. And some of them are really getting stressed about it. Several of them, well, of the 9 people that live in the home I work at, 6 of them smoke, and they're not allowed to leave and get cigarettes. And we had one person 2 days ago who had to be shipped to the hospital because he went off the rails because he ran out of cigarettes. And he was arrested because he was there on counts of not guilty due to insanity. And if he attempted to leave the grounds, we had to call the police. It's almost strange how little my life has changed. I go to work every morning. I work my shift, and despite the fact that the people at the home aren't allowed to leave, everything's the same. Except on my off days, I have to stay home, and it's kind of eerie. Penny, get back here. Get back here, that's not our yard. Fine then, be dumb. It's bizarre, if I'm perfectly honest. Some of my friends have lost their jobs. A lot of them are under strict quarantine where they literally can't leave the house, or they'll be arrested or fined. I know that the punishment for being caught in Birmingham proper is either a $500 fine or 120 days in prison, which is scary to me. I don't know what's going to happen. And I am lucky that my job is essential, because otherwise I don't know what I'd do. Unemployment in Alabama is pathetically small. And I would not be okay if I had to live off that. I have lupus, specifically rheumatoid arthritis. I take a lot of medicine. I have a lot of bills. If they stop paying me, if I lose my job, I lose my insurance, and I will die. It's a concern of mine, and I'm lucky that it's not something I'm going to have to worry about for the foreseeable future. All I have to worry about is making sure the people at the group home are all right, and that this quarantine doesn't leave them too unhinged. We don't have much testing in Alabama. We don't have very many confirmed cases because people who aren't sick aren't being tested. And I can't afford to be tested. I have a compromised immune system. If I were to get COVID-19, I could get very, very sick very, very quickly. My mother is also on disability because she has the same condition as me, but being in her 50s, she has it to a much more severe degree. This is concerning for my family. My father and my sister are afraid to leave the house, even on normal routine trips, because they're afraid that if they bring the virus into the home, my mother could die. I'm 25. Even if I were to get it, I would probably make it, even if I have other underlying conditions, just because I'm healthier than her. But the illness weighs heavy. All we can do is do our best and take it all one day at a time. I know this is a heavy topic and a really heavy time in general, but I hope you, Dan, and everyone else who may end up watching this stay safe, and that you're all doing what you can to keep yourselves and others healthy. And me and Penny wish you well. Right, Penny? She does. She's just distracted. Bye, Dan. And my Rattata found 40 watts for me. Good walk.